Hey guys, it's Tani here, and we're back with part two of my Mid-Century Highlands speed build. In the first one, we saw the floor plan and the landscaping coming together, and now we're going to go in and start decorating the inside. So here you'll see me going around choosing wallpaper. So I like, it's base game only, so I do like the wallpaper with the floorboards and then the top boards. I think that makes the house look well together, and I'm actually going for a more modern outside but upscale inside. This house comes in at around about 245,000 simoleons, and it is available on the gallery now. The shell is available and the decorated version is available, depending on what your taste is. And here we're going to do the kitchen. So we all know that I go through each room and I kind of just do that room completely before moving on to the next room. It is a very similar thing that I'll be doing in this build. And so I thank you guys for being patient with me as I go room from room with my OCD. And you get to see OCD come together. Also, cluttering houses is so expensive in this game. But I like houses to have a little bit of personality. This house was built for a single father. He may or may not have a girlfriend. And his gamer science nerd son. And then his um, baby son. So he has a baby's room. That's all decked out for the baby to become a toddler. And so that's what we'll be doing. So that's the personalities that live here. The father is a writer, and the son, he just really enjoys games. He's really into science. So he's kind of like a nerd slash geek because they're different. Nerds are nerds and geeks are geeks, but it's different because I'm both at the same time. Like I'm super techie and sciency, but I love learning things and um, reading. So geeks tend to be more techie science, and nerds tend to be more general information, math, history, and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's the stereotype. And having been in high school, yeah, that's the stereotype. So here you see me getting into the kitchen. I did a round island, and this is why I don't like putting the windows in the kitchen before I decorate the kitchen, because as you can see, the windows were apart. They were too high. They couldn't go low enough. Um, and they just wouldn't have looked right with the style that I was going for. This is why I usually leave my kitchen windowless, or the part of the build that I decide is the kitchen, because what you decide is up to you. So here I'm going to be choosing a sink, dishwasher, all the appliances that's going to it, and then you'll see me pull out everything that I want to use to clutter it. So I'm pulling all that out. We'll be putting that on the counters and everything. And I just wanted to ask everybody how they're doing during this global pandemic. I know it's still going on. I live in the States, and where I live, they opened up where I personally feel was far too soon. I'm not going out. I'm not going out until there is an announcement for a successful treatment or a successful vaccine. There needs to be one or both, and I prefer both, but I am what is considered an at risk because I have asthma and I'm extremely allergic to cats and some of the world outside. And if I don't take my allergy medicine every day, I end up having a asthma attack the next day. Just a lot. So it's not something that I'm risking. I'm not going to risk my life for it. I was not asking to be let out so soon. I don't necessarily miss the beaches. I mean, I do miss being able to go to the park and running and hiking, but it's not something I want to risk. And going back to work, a lot of people were. My mom was asking me how I felt. Oh, ooh, and see here I'm putting like the plants. Sorry, I'm voiceovers. but I'm putting the plants over, and I really like doing this, um, and just making it different because there are flowers in my kitchen, well, my mom's kitchen, because that's who I'm sheltering in place with right now. But there are flowers in my kitchen in my apartment as well, so I like to keep flowers. I like to keep flowers everywhere, so I'm definitely a plants person. I don't have a green thumb, and so my mom gives me tips on how to keep my plants green, because trust me, I do not have a green thumb. So yeah, but I do think flowers in a home or plants in a home just livens it up. It makes it feel alive to me, so that's one of the reasons why I do that. But my mom was asking me because her job had requested me to come and do the bakery for a little bit if they had to reopen because their employees have the option and a lot of them are not going to take it. And she was like, well, what if you have your mask but nobody else has a mask? And I was explaining to her that your mask keeps you from getting everyone else sick. It doesn't keep everyone from getting you sick. So I won't work in a place that doesn't have mask or have a mask requirement. And at the same time, in the States, people have been killed or hurt or thrown in lakes for trying to impose the rules that were given, like for trying to help people hold people accountable for having their mask on. People have been getting killed, thrown in lakes, assaulted, and I'm just like, if you don't have a type of protection, I can't come work for you. Like, it's really that crazy out here right now, and it's just a first world problem. And to me, I just can't. There's nothing that is worth that risk for me. I don't understand why it's worth that risk for other people, but it's not worth the risk for me, and it's not something that I'm going to be taking part in. So here you see me doing the little greenhouse. It's actually just an exit to the backyard on that side, and I was gonna put the curtains up, but the curtains really block the sunlight, so I just took them all off. And here I'm putting like the Beauty and the Beast type rose. That's what I call this rose. You get it after I think a silver date. But I call it the Beauty and the Beast rose, and I was just putting it in that situation. I thought it looked really pretty there, and so I went there. So here you see me moving on to the living room, which I give more of an estate type of feel to it. So I'm putting out a fireplace. You'll see me going around. Just I realize that that doesn't have, yeah. Like I realize that's not painted. Does that make sense? So because it's not painted, I go and paint it because OCD. Um, just finishing some outside worlds. And we're going back to the living room. So here, I try to find a TV that I could sit on top of the fireplace, but nothing click. I know I could raise it, but what I found in the PlayStation is if I raise something that doesn't naturally snap to it, it won't work. My sim can't get it to work, and so that's not something that I wanted to do in other people's games, especially PlayStations or other console, because of the issue that we found. I know that there are a lot of PC players who will raise the TV up and it will work. And as long as the PC player made it and then I downloaded it to the console, it will work. But if I do it and then I have my sim test it, it won't work. I can't turn it on. They can't reach it. Quote unquote, something's in the way. It's not accessible and it's complicated and frustrating. So that's not something that I do. If the TV can't snap to what's there, then I won't put the TV there. And I didn't want to put a small TV there and size it up because I felt like the small TV size up a little bit bigger than the space. And I didn't want taller wall heights. So here you see me trying to decide on a bookshelf, which I really like these thin bookshelves that are in base game. I'm so surprised, but they're in base game and they're extremely cute. And here I'm just doing a little trick that I learned with the coffee table. So you'll see me do that trick shortly as I start working around. So once I have everything where I want it to be, this is where I start doing that. So I love the way that looks, actually. I think it makes the coffee table look so cool and cute. And it's been tested. Your sim can sit there and it's not, they don't have to go around in some roundabout circle type of way to get there. And it's, and I and there's stuff on it, but I believe it snaps to one table. Now, doing this actually give you a lot more snapping points, especially if you have move objects on. So be careful with that. I didn't have to move anything to get stuff in the middle of the table, but I do want you guys to be careful with that because if we're putting plates on it and your Sims don't put stuff back in the kitchen like toddlers tend not to do, you're gonna have to make sure that they can get there because I do believe they overlap each other. So I'm not sure how that access is because I tested it with a singular sim and no plates were left over. She's a fairly neat sim. So here you see me choosing the lights to put in there. So I do choose this light. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want with it and how I want it to go. So I shrink it down and I put it there and I shrink down the other light to keep the atmosphere the same. So here you see me playing with the wall heights and I'm just looking around to see if I like the wall height that way and I decided no. So it wasn't worth it. Where you keep with the same, this is on the shortest wall height and I do test that with my builds because some things look better with a tall wall height and some things don't, and I didn't feel like this one did. And here I figured out these two pictures are the exact same pictures, so I moved one back over here. So it's so weird. It's like that picture twice. It's in a square and it's in a longer situation, and so but it's the exact same picture, just one is more panoramic than the other. So I didn't realize that until just now, and I'm sure in some of my other builds I've used that those two pictures thinking that I was doing something, and I was just repeating pictures. That is so funny. So here I'm just populating, or populating, I guess that's one way of doing it, but I'm decorating the shelves in this part of the wall where the reading happens. And so here I put like one of the eggs because I feel like there is a Fabergé, like a Fabergé gold egg in a lot of estates. And then I put the scales up there and I put this globe in there because I feel like, um, you know, most higher end homes or most higher end decorated homes tend to have a lot of these collector type items there, especially with the globe, Fabergé eggs, just something to make it look a little more expensive than it is. Although this is pretty expensive because the shell and the um, landscaping ended up being 85,000 simoleons. And so with all of the decorations added to it, it comes out at 245,000 simoleons. So yeah, it ends up pretty expensive. It looks pretty expensive too. So here I put this picture on the wall, and that's a picture that you can get by looking in the telescope or having your sim look in the telescope. So they get a lot of stuff. And here you see me trying to find a good flower to put on the table. So of course I find this one. I think the shape is really well. I like the plants at the bottom. So I just changed the flowers so they're all white and it matches. And then I just add this little divider, and divider is just set there. I believe the divider would be something that they bring out should they need to divide a room. So when they don't need to divide the room, it's just there. I have a china set that's come out, and I'm getting ready to put a side table, just an accent table over there by the window, and decorate that. So here you see me with the accent table and I'm putting the things on there. I let certain things snap because I do want them there. So those were snapping and that's something I'm okay with. And here I'm putting the book because I feel like the son and the father are both book like people. So I put a lot of books around because it's something that I believe they would leave around. Like they would leave their books laying around. That accent table you saw me put downstairs is not decorated. So things can end up there when you download this from the gallery. And here I'm just doing the entryway. So here you see me put the sign up. I put the coat rack there and then another coat rack. I know it seems a little redundant, but I don't know. I just feel like that's complete like that. I was gonna put the plant, but decided I did not like it there. And here I put a more estate-ish entry photo, and that's actually gonna be it for this entryway after the lights around. And then we will, and I don't show the downstairs bathroom getting decorated at all. But here we jump into the garage, and here I have the um, what is that called? It's a little workbench. It's a little handy workbench. We have a punching bag. The treadmill does not work. You can move it to get it to work, but I didn't place it for it to work. The punching bag absolutely works. So your sim can exercise on the punching bag and they can do their handiness on this little workbench, but they cannot access the treadmill unless you move it. And I think you have to move it up. So as you can see here, it's just pretty much there to be, I mean, you have card tables for guys' night. But it's pretty much meant to be like, I have this old exercise equipment and it's just sitting there and taking up space and it's collecting dust, so it's not accessible. But the punching bag is definitely accessible. Your sim can do that. And so we just have this working here and we'll put a little nice little work light in there, and that will be the garage. And I actually really like this space, and they can do everything but the treadmill. So here we're gonna go and we're working on the kids' bathroom, and you'll see me placing all this stuff, and I'm putting in move object sheet because you know, gotta do that. Um, I record over 30-minute intervals. So what I did was did all of the building and the landscaping, and then I stopped for that day, so that was one day. And then I did all of downstairs and I stopped for that day, so that was another day. Upstairs was another day. um, so if you see the pop in and putting in the same sheets, it's because it's a different day, but that's all. And so here we're doing the kids bathroom, and I'm doing the lights, and I take the lights out, of course, and I'm about to clutter it up. I do love cluttering up spaces. I like the places to look like they're lived in. I like for them to have a feel and a style, but I also like for them to look like someone lives there. And it's not just a show house, because I have families in mind for these houses, and I will have to make that. So like I said, this one is for a single father, and not necessarily uh, a divorcee father. This is for a widower. His wife passed away. It is him, his teenage son, and his baby son. So it's three male Sims living in this house. The father is a writer. He's famous. And the son is a gamer. And he really enjoys science. So he's probably going to become that. So you'll see his room come together. And the baby is a baby. So, and one of the things that I put together when I put this house together was thinking that the wife decorated the house before getting sick and passing away, or however that story goes, but or however they end up in your head as a single father and two sons. So that's what you see here, and that's the story behind it. So this is, you see me moving things out of the way. I don't like the cups being on top of the sink, because in real life it's like wonky, it rocks. And I know it's The Sims, so that doesn't really work that way here, but I don't like the way it looks, and in my head it rocks. And don't mind me, it's just chalk it up to my OCD. It's the weirdest thing. It's just gonna be a thing. And I apologize, and I thank you all for coming to deal with my OCD with me. I'm Tiny. Welcome to my OCD channel. No, just joking. So here, I clutter out the bathroom. I put kids' toys in there, and I purposely put it inside of the shower because I noticed that if it's not like a shower tub combo and I put it in there, the maid or a person or a sim is going to come and clean it up. And I was like, nope, it's here. It's supposed to be like there for a look. So I definitely put that there. And so here we're getting to the teenage son room and base game beds. Oh my god, I try really, really hard to see if I can find any type of a headboard to make this look different, but I am not keen on base game beds when it comes to like nerdy Sims. It was just so much. It frustrated me to no end, and I could not find a baseboard for this. So eventually, you see me just pull it out of the wall so that the regular headboard would show. But it's so disappointing, and I just couldn't. It was just so disappointing. So I'm decorating the science kids room now, and it doesn't look like it's a lot of space because I believe this is a 4x4. So yeah, this is a 4x4 bedroom, and I think I make it work for the space that we have. The sim can get into it. They can sit at the computer. They can lay in the bed, and they can get to the drawers to change. But yeah, it's a little cramped. It's just, the space is a little in there. But I did want to play around and see if I can pull out that personality. And the rooms, kids' rooms, have been like blue or pink or some variation. So I did want to go with a light green and see if I can pull out more of a gamer nerd feel. So I hope I pulled that off. To me, I really like how it came out. But I do hope I did pull that off well. So here I'm putting the bookshelf closer to the desk because I do have a bookshelf that sits on my desk and kind of leans on the wall like that. This is on the wall because, Sims. But I have that for my gaming setup in the other room because I have a PC that I have games on. And I play PlayStation. So the PlayStation is in my room. I get to relax with that one. So here I'm kind of decorating. I'm going with like a green and black. I'm trying to pull out that personality, but also keep the room in themed. So you'll see me pulling out a lot of green plants. And I would say like mom decorated this house before she got sick or before, the inevitable happened. So the plants were really her thing, and the men doesn't really keep up with the plants per se, but there will be plants in the save file. There isn't any plants with it on stream, so that's one of the things here. So here you see me going through and trying to find it. So the little prickly ball is this like what looks like a jumping man statue, but I ended up liking it, so I kept one and I'm gonna use it as a statue. But I ended up liking it. I thought that that was really neat. And then I put the dragon, sort of a Dungeons and Dragons thing. That would be really cool. And The Sims to have like a board game that they can play on, like the Don't Break the Llama table or something. That isn't Don't Wake the Llama, but like D&D like related. So I thought that would be cool. But that's what that dragon represents. So here, I'm just decorating the table. I'm putting the Genius Award up top, silver, because he's a teenager, so he would not have gotten gold yet. It's like something he's working towards. And here you see me putting that prickly statue and all the statues back there on the game and the little toys that you find in game. And I was trying to put the Zen garden, but it just wouldn't go. And that's one of the things I wish I had for console is the red shelf that allows me to lift stuff up or bring stuff down to put where I want it to go. But it just wouldn't, and because it wouldn't and it did not look right floating in the air, of course, I went ahead and just deleted it. This is me trying to place a toy car that would not, like nothing would raise up just right to sit on top of those books. So it would be nice if I could. Gosh, it would really be nice if I could do that. But here you see me. He has like a makeshift Simray. So this is the shelf for his Simray. He would have gotten it from like a friend, or he would have built it for a school project. It doesn't work, and we put it in there, and he has that. So this is just me trying to clutter up the room, and we'll be done with this shortly. So I shrink the shelf and I put this all there just to make it look like it fits. And I'm just adjusting the pictures once overlooking, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get the curtains and lighting, and we're gonna go ahead to the baby's room. And the baby's room, oh my gosh, the baby's room went through so much. I at first took out a whole bunch of furniture because I was going to go with the brown and the sky blue motif, and then that just didn't work out, so I just kind of went with the white and the light blue for it. So I cut the whole sky blue motif out. So that's why you see furniture there that you did not see get placed there. And here I'm making a little changing bed. So I'm arranging the room how I want it. We're going to change that. I'm trying to find one that fits, and that's the closest one to the theme without going over it or without being crazy. And here I'm just changing the shelvings to be white instead of the light brown. I'm just arranging the decals. I like doing babies and toddlers room because of the decals, and I actually kind of want to do a bathroom that's baby and toddler geared, so I might do that. Um, so I might do that soon actually, but I do like having rooms that are baby and toddler geared. So here I'm doing a little changing table. Now this is base game, so I don't have access to that one nice ottoman that raises up, but these are towels, and I raised them to that level, and then I changed the color because white looked weird, so the little purple one kind of looked like it matched the theme better. And we're just going to be cluttering up this room, and then this room will be done. So, but the baby's room was one of my favorites, and I like doing kids room. I love doing kids, babies, toddlers room, and as soon as I'm done with the my save, because I have to renovate different worlds and add certain things. As soon as I'm done with all that, I'm going back to using kids room stuff, toddler stuff, because I love that stuff. I love that stuff so much. So here you see me cluttering up the little changing table. I put a basket there, it would be like baby cream or something. I'm trying to put this little shelf there. That picture, I wish it sized down better. I don't like the shadow. I keep it there because it's really good with the room, but I really wish either the shadow wasn't there or the shadow sized with the image. But I understand like that takes a lot of coding, so it's just my own personal little complaints. Don't mind me. I still appreciate the game. I love this game. So here we're moving on to Dad's room. Um, and I kind of just kept with blue, or like I kept with blue for the two because I would say that it's a really easy, it's an easy color. It's an easy color. The rooms turn out really nice with blue. FYI, my favorite color is green, so I'm not playing favorites here, but I think the rooms do turn out really nice with blue. Here you see me trying to place shades. It does not go well, so I end up just tossing it and going with a more, what I would like to say, boring base game shade. So yeah, go for a more boring base game shade for here. You see this? And that's fine. Sometimes it's okay. So, and when the shades are out, I don't like for the dressers or any of the tables to cut off the bottom of the shades like that. So I pull it out so it's just not through there. So yeah, here I'm placing all of the wall images that I want. I'm just trying to find where I want to put those. I really like the little supernova. I don't think I keep that though. I think I replaced that with a TV. So, his closet is outside. This sim is more visual, so he really likes to be able to see his stuff. It's one of the reasons why he didn't do a closet. So I'm just cluttering up the walls, of course, and trying to clutter up the room. I put all of writer-related stuff, all the things that remind me of something writers would have, out so that I can put that up. And So we're just going through everything. I tried to put the tones there. I didn't know those were base game. I think until my last speed bill, and I've been trying to use them everywhere since. So I finally get to use them. They're not in this room though. So of course, pulling out all the plants. Like I said, I pull out all of the clutter, all of the items, all of the things that I think I want to use, and then I arrange them that once I get them all out. So this is me arranging the table. Now, where the bed is located in the speed bill, there is no, the Sims don't scoot anymore. They used to scoot, but another Sim can't get on the other side. So if he has a girlfriend over and she wants to, or he wants their boyfriend over and they want to stay the night, another Sim can't get on this side. So in the gallery, that has been fixed. But here in the video, it's not fixed. So I move everything over a little bit, and I move the one plant up closer to the wall so that a sim can get in and get inside of the bed, and the other side of the bed can be assigned, because if one is sleeping there with the way it is in the speed bill, no other sim can sleep in that bed. And I would really like for the Sims to be able to scoot again. Oh, yay! I put a TV there. I was right. So here, finishing lighting, and then we're going to go into the parents' bedroom, which was for two parents and is now for one parent. But here I try to keep simple. I know the walls are gray, so I kind of keep with like the gray cabinets, but a black tub, a gray and black type of toilet. I do put pops of yellow in this bathroom, and it's something that I chose a little bit later. Like when I get the flowers out, you'll see me get like a yellow sunflower. I was like, "Ooh, that's really pretty," and so that's when I started to really incorporate the pops of yellow where I could. So, um, because you'll see me put the yellow picture, and that's not where I registered it. This picture gave me so much of a problem, like large or small, I couldn't move it up. And usually when that happens, I have to completely exit out of this build, save, and completely exit out of the save, and then go back in to be able to get stuff to rise and fall. But because I was recording, that wasn't something that I wanted to do. So the picture was not worth the trouble, and it did not get to be put here. So that's what happened with that. So here we're placing towels on this little rack here. I'm going to lower it, and I thought I wanted to utilize the second space, but that did not work out as well because the way things rise is just so weird. So I definitely use the top shelf the most, and I combined towels to make it look like they were folded up there. And here I'm just arranging the clutter on this side to be more of a mess. So this is where we get the yellow flowers, and this is where I decide to put the pops of yellow in the whole bathroom because it looked really pretty, and so that's where that went. So I'll put these candles here, and I arrange that, and so I'm changing stuff to certain yellow. Some things are black, certain things will stay yellow. I put there, change that yellow, and I really, really like how that turned out. So here I'm moving on to the office, and I would say that this would be more of the home office, but it's really Dad's office because the son does have a laptop that he uses for gaming, so it's not really necessary for anyone else. Once the toddler is a child, I do believe they will use this room, and so that's how that works. I put in two different rugs here because I didn't want to size up the rugs. I felt it made it too big for the room, but I also didn't want one little rug in there, and so that's where that happens. It doesn't matter what curtain you use, the curtain blocks out the light, so which is okay. And this is why some of my modern homes usually don't have curtains on any of the windows that are by the living room or covers the living room, mostly because I feel like it takes away from the modernism, but it also takes a lot of the light out and a lot of the benefits of having all those windows there. But I did not mind doing that here. So here I shrank one of the plants, and this is my favorite plant to use, by the way. So I shrink one of it and put it by the chairs, and here I'm just cluttering up the space, and I'm throwing plants everywhere because I like plants. I used that plant again. I told you it's one of my favorite ones to use. And I'm decorating the walls in the hallway. And then now I'm gonna attempt to clutter up the desk. So I just take out everything that I want to use and I put them there. Yep. Go get this shelf. It's just kind of out the way. There's nothing over there, so I kind of just didn't want the space to be empty. So this is me trying to put everything up. And here I'm cluttering up the desk upstairs. And you see me put like a Nacho Libre type of skull here. That's from the Sugar Skull. Okay, so on console, because of those events have already taken place on PC, we can't just start them, so that's where it has. We just go and get those things out. So here I'm just doing some finishing touches. And we'll actually be finishing this area up, just doing some lights. And if you could just leave your questions and comments below, I'll be glad to answer them in the next video or address them in the next video. And we're coming up on the screenshot. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this speed build. I enjoyed doing it with you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Reflection